Welcome, everyone, to the Better Love Movement podcast, where you will finally learn how to intentionally do dating and relationships right. My name is Anita Stoudemire, and I'm a licensed professional therapist and your personal love mentor. I've worked with thousands of singles and couples, giving them the skills needed to attract and keep the amazing love they desire. It's my heart's work to help people to get the skills needed to not only become the very best versions of themselves, but to help them grow and evolve emotionally and relationally. You can absolutely have the romantic relationship of your dreams. Come and let me show you how. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome back again to this week's episode of the Better Love Movement podcast. So this particular week, we are in for another treat. I'm giving you all of my guys in a row for the last 2 or 3 episodes. And so this is episode number 128. And it is entitled Marriage from the Man's Perspective. Today, I am talking to Treamell Lawrence of the Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters Facebook platform. Let me tell you a little bit about Treamell. Treamell Lawrence is a personal relationship advisor, blog writer, author, talk show host, and founder of DBDSsingles.com, which is a relationship website. He has a bachelor's degree in organizational communication and currently lives in Middletown, Connecticut with his wife and daughters. Blog followers and Facebook fans alike can easily recognize the wisdom and advice quotables from Treamell, since his deep, thoughtful, and therapeutic advice is always delivered using his unique Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters brand. You can read Treamell's thoughts and advice in his most recent book titled Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters, Listen Up. You can also view Treamell on his YouTube channel titled DBDS Live, where he provides healthy relationship tips and discuss relationship topics. Both his personal and professional experience gives him the ability to be transparent with people about the challenges he faces as men and women, that we face as men and women, and offer insight on how to overcome them. Welcome, Treamell.
Oh, thank you. It's such a pleasure. It's such an honor to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right. So tonight we are going to talk a little bit about men and marriage. This is going to be a really, really great conversation. Now,
Absolutely.
Treamell, I met you through Facebook, through your Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters Facebook page, which is awesome. If you all are over there on Facebook, please check it out. Check out the
Thank you.
groups. I love the live show that you have every Sunday evening at 6:00 p.m. Tell my listeners a little bit more about you and the Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters platform.
Yes. Well, thank you again for that great introduction. So, yes, my name is Treamell Lawrence. I've been giving relationship advice since 2014, ever since I started writing my own blogs at that time frame. And ever since then, I just started this organization called Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters, which is, a platform and also a way to bring our brothers and sisters together, because I feel like today it's just so divisive between
Mm.
the black man and the black woman. And I just feel like, it's something I want to say. It's something that I'm so passionate about, just to bring our sisters and brothers together, because I know with healthier relationships definitely creates healthier communities.
That's for sure. That's for
Ooh.
sure. So we need that. We need this
Yes.
so desperately right now. So let's discuss marriage and
Yes.
your thoughts on if men are even still pursuing marriage. Tell me a little bit about why you decided to get married to your wife. What was it about her that made her the one?
Well, what I thought what made her the one was her standards.
Mm,
Was the simple fact that she had a great character. She was very feminine, and I just feel like right now that's getting lost per se due to this, I would say, instant gratification society that's
right.
pushing the reversal roles, and I think that's creating this epidemic that we face as black people. In fact, I think traditional roles actually sustain Black families. So just knowing that she was a very feminine woman, that made me approach her. The first portion of your question, I feel like a lot of brothers are not pursuing marriage
Mhm.
because I think the institution itself is under attack by modern
Mm,
society. I think they want to continue to have us separated.
right.
And when you have us separated, then we're not strong as a unit. And you see the stats, the data. Out of all the nationalities, we are the highest divorce rates and
Mhm.
the least to get married. And
Right.
and I feel like this is an epidemic, excuse me, that we
Mhm.
have to reverse. Definitely.
I agree. And so interesting you say that because
Oh yeah.
my listeners know that I am a data person. I am a numbers person. I love, clinical facts. I'm big
Hmm.
on that. I bring that to this show. It's not just about what I think or what I feel. I bring the clinical data. And so we are seeing that. We are seeing the out of wedlock births go sky high. We're seeing
Yes.
the marriage rates plummet, and
Mm.
even among, this is what I find so interesting about these statistics. So, even
Hmm.
among Black people who are 30 plus, who are educated
Hmm.
and kind of seem to have it going on, they're still not getting married. So, it's not just poorer Blacks, it's not about that, or it's not about, we're seeing, higher income Black people not getting married. And that is a travesty, in my opinion, because we need our families. It's so important that we have healthy families. And I've heard from some folks where they'll say, well, I've not seen what a healthy family looks like or what a healthy marriage looks like. And so, I don't have anything to compare it to. Like, I haven't seen, I can't think of a couple who's married who's happy. What do you say to that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's sad. I mean, not everyone sees the value in marriage. I mean, some may even see it as a death sentence.
Right.
But I personally believe that some of these false narratives comes from people who are currently in bad or toxic marriages themselves, or
Mhm.
as I stated earlier, modern society is so fixated on this instant gratification um, portion,
Right.
and they don't realize that marriage is a blessing when you're with the right person and you're with the right
Right.
mindset. um the thing is that it can actually, nothing against my single people, but it can actually help you live longer.
Mhm.
There are statistics out there that
Yep.
married men, as well as married women, tend to live longer because they hold themselves even more accountable. So
Right.
when you have that woman, which is your PEACE, as well as your PIECE, she's your
Mhm.
peace.
Right.
It actually just brings the narrative to a whole different level on a positive way of thinking. And I think that these images that we see on TV and you hear in music,
Mhm.
it kind of like try to push this narrative that it's a bad thing. And
Right.
it's a contributing factor that we have to do something about.
Yeah. But one of the things that I've always, encouraged my listeners to do
Hmm.
is that, first of all, their own personal work. So I think that
Yes.
as individuals, a lot of us are hurting, we're broken, wounded. So we've got to do our individual work to come together to create healthy relationships and healthy marriages. And so I know I'm seeing a lot of folks, that I have couples that come to me all the time for therapy, and I then, have to separate them so I can do some individual work. I can see what they bring to the marriage that actually is not even about the other person.
Mm,
They have wounds, from their past. So we kind of have to take a breather, and work on those individual wounds
right.
and that hurt, and then kind of come back together.
Right.
So,
I totally agree with you. I mean, marriage within itself, I think is very unique because it's emotional security and stability. And if you
right.
don't have that stability within yourself, then of course you're going to set yourself up for failure. So
Right,
you're
right.
right. You have to do that healing, that
Mhm.
self-reflection. You have to be whole. I did a show on being whole, which my sister up there, Angela, shout out to Angela Holloway, but she
Mhm.
stated it stands for wonderfully heal, um, living in outstanding, wonderfully heal. I gotta listen to the show, but it's
Okay.
wonderfully heal, outstanding life experience. There we go.
Right.
Thank
Okay.
you. Just off
Yep.
the top of my head.
Yep.
So that's what you need. And if you're not whole within yourself, then you're gonna look for someone to complete you, and that's gonna deplete your energy. That's what's
Right.
gonna happen.
Right. So there are, so many things we can discuss about this whole breakdown of the family and marriage in Black communities. There's
Mm.
like so many different areas we can go into. We're also seeing a lot of red pill men. We're seeing a lot of MGTOW men or other male
Oh
platforms that are
yes.
saying, well, I would never get married because of divorce, and I'd lose half of what I had. I'd lose my kids. So that's my reason for never getting married. Which, I'm not going to say, it couldn't happen because, again, statistically, we know that right now 50% of marriages don't make it.
Yes, Sally. I mean, I think a lot of it, and brothers, if you're listening, I think a lot of it falls on us. The courting never ends. You have to continue to court your women.
Hmm.
But before you even get to that level, you have to make sure you know what you want. Are you looking for a steady girlfriend? Are you looking for, um, to someone just to have cuffing season with? Are you looking for
Right,
someone to
right,
spend the rest of your life with? So if you don't have those values, and if you don't know what you're looking for, of course, it's not going to be equally balanced if you have someone with different values. So
right,
that's another contributing factor, I believe, that sets up failed relationships when it comes to unsustainable marriage.
right. Well,
Mhm.
I've shared this before on the podcast about John Gottman's study where he found that men who have high emotional intelligence,
Mm.
those are the marriages that make it, and those are the marriages that are most satisfying to the man and the woman. So I've often told men it really
Mhm.
is on you all. If you want to improve your emotional intelligence, which is first your self awareness, you
Mhm.
managing yourself, and then second, going outside of yourself and learning how to recognize things in others, learning how to manage your relationships. But his study has proven that when men have very high emotional intelligence, that's a huge factor in having a happy, healthy, long-term relationship. So,
Absolutely. I couldn't agree anymore. I mean,
right.
you have to empathize with your wife, with your significant other, because
Mhm.
as it's stated, empathy is an emotional pursuit.
Right.
And as long as you are able to be compassionate and be able to understand your woman, then that will definitely make the relationship a lot easier to navigate. And me
Right.
and my wife, we don't have arguments.
Mm.
We've been married for 4 years, and I known her for
Mhm.
7. We
Mhm.
don't argue. We have discussions. We
Mhm.
reinforce the solutions. We compromise. Sometimes we sacrifice.
Right.
And is such an amazing feeling to be with someone that's your best friend as well as your lover at the same time. That's how I view marriage.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, we all need that.
Oh,
We all need a little bit of that.
Ooh, telling you
Wow.
something.
So, as a married man yourself, would
Yes.
you encourage men to get married?
Oh, absolutely. A 110% yes.
Mhm.
Um, it just brings a whole nother level. I mean, statistically, if you're already an ambitious man and you have a purpose in life, it's due to data, the right woman can actually improve your financial status.
That's right.
You know, that that
That's right.
that emotional fuel that's just push you to a whole nother level.
Yep.
Is so amazing because as us as men, we were just so very action oriented that we're
Mhm.
willing to do whatever it takes to be the protector, the provider, the leader. And that right
Mhm.
woman, when she comes along, she'll push you on a whole nother level emotionally, financially, spiritually. Um, yes, absolutely. I would tell any brother, which I definitely do encourage, to get married and have that companion, have that woman that's by your side that can definitely flourish your relationship to a whole nother level.
Yes, I agree with that. And in the words of Tony Gaskins,
Yes.
he says that, when your attention and energy is not scattered on multiple women or dating,
Right.
once you have that one woman, you can
Hmm.
now lean into your purpose. You can now do what it is you're passionate and purpose to do. And I agree with that. Like, women are a distraction. I've always said that to the
Yes.
men that I work with. Women are a distraction to you. So find you a good one. Know that you have that, you have the wife of your youth in which to lay on her bosom, and then let that fuel your passion and your purpose, what you're here to do. You don't have to scatter that energy going from here to there and getting in all these drama situations with different women and all. I mean, it's
Right.
exhausting. It's exhausting. I don't know how players do it.
It's beyond exhausting. And I totally agree with Tony Gaskins because the thing is that as a man you got to have a purpose first. You
Right.
know, Coretta Scott King, before she married Dr. King, she said she married him for his purpose.
Right. Right.
So um as long as a brother knows how to lead himself,
Hmm.
definitely he could lead a relationship. But with that right
Right.
woman by your side, everything is possible to have that companion. And you're right. It is before I met my wife, I was dating multiple women, but it was
Mm.
completely draining.
Yeah.
I could not focus, juggling multiple emotions, being on two juggling different universe.
Mm.
It was pretty exhausting. But when you have that one woman, I'll take a quality woman over a quantity of women
Right.
any day of the week.
That's right. So,
Mhm.
what are, in your opinion, some of the benefits of marriage for a man?
Well, one benefit is, yes, as I mentioned earlier, you do live a longer and healthier life. There's
Hmm.
no doubt about it. You know, you hold yourself accountable. I mean, there's my wife cooks food without the salt. So
Mm.
just giving you some little things right there. Another thing too is that if you have children, I think marriage and
Mm.
children is such a beautiful thing because it shows our children how we love each other. It
Right.
communicates in the manner that it shows a great man how he treats his woman and how the woman treats the man, so that they see that example
Hmm.
that could lead to the next generation. And I think that's a defining factor that we need to set those elements for, because right now, is when you're a single mother or you're a single father, it's
Mm.
two times more than likely that they may end up a daughter, I'm sorry, a young woman may get pregnant, or
Hmm.
nine times that a young boy may go to just be out in the streets. It's just so many
Hmm.
other statistics, but having that bond
Right.
in a marriage institution, especially if you have values and morals, could pass down to the next generation.
Right. Right. And I want to reference a book called the Millionaire Next Door. I can't think of the author right off the top of my head.
Oh, the million.
Yeah, but I did a
Yes.
lot of research when it's been about 15 years ago now. But one of my mentors wanted me to read that book because one of my goals was to be a millionaire. And so he's like, "Well, read that book so you can see some data on, what makes a millionaire. What is it?" And one of the things that it did state in that was that I think it's like 86% of millionaires are married. And I was like, "Yeah, that kind of makes sense." Again, that makes sense to me. So I've often appealed to men in terms of, their success and them making money. I'm like, you'll make more money, you'll live in a better house, you'll drive a better car, if you're married. That's what the data is showing us.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, you're going to live longer. There's so many wonderful benefits to men and women for being married. God forbid if anything happened to your spouse, whatever their inheritance is passes down to you, passes
Yep.
down to your children. When you are just living together, I tell couples this all the time that are just living together or have children together, you cannot claim that person's body. You cannot pick out the suit
Right.
that person is going to wear at their funeral. You
Right.
cannot make the decision whether they stay on the ventilator or not. You have no legal protection. You have no legal right. And so if you love
Hmm.
that person and you want to be that person, that next of kin, that's what marriage will get you. There are a lot of legal protections for men and women in marriage.
Absolutely. So what you just stated is more than just a piece of paper. I'm
Oh,
telling you. Not only that, we have to throw this out there. I mean, sex. I mean,
yep,
all the research
yep.
studies show that men who are in healthy marriages have greater
Was that?
sex than
Yep,
those that are single.
that's it.
Because I just think that the passion as well as your mental stimulation and emotions it's on a whole different level
I
compared to
agree.
someone that's out there in the market and meeting a random stranger.
I
So
agree.
we
And again, there is a protection there. There is a if both
yes.
parties are monogamous, there is an STD protection. There is a protection against, you know, just getting some random person pregnant.
Mm,
There are lots of protections. So that's the thing I love about marriage most. I believe it
mhm.
is God's ultimate protection for us if we just give
Yes.
it a chance. So,
Uh, yes, yes,
yes.
absolutely, my sister. I mean, there are, in my view, these are just the natural laws with
Mhm.
feminine and masculine energy that
Yep.
cannot be broken.
That's
And I
it.
just feel like it's impossible because when you try to go against nature, the reality is you're only breaking yourself.
That's it.
And I think that's what's occurring right now when we're trying to play these reversal roles. And now
Right.
I understand we all have masculine and feminine energy inside of us, but if you're a brother, then the dominant energy is
Right.
masculine, and if you're a woman, the dominant energy is feminine. So
Right.
when you try to crisscross it, the balance is off rhythm per se.
Right.
So,
And I've talked to my ladies at length about how tired they are, how exhausted they are when they are
mm,
functioning in their masculine energy. I have women losing their hair, losing their health. I mean, their mental health. I believe that's what's straining all of this is people, like you said, acting out of their natural energy. And so
hmm,
no, we got to return. Like I tell people, this is thousands of years old. This is biology.
hmm.
This is hormonal reality. It is what it is. And I love the idea of, men and women are different. And that's a good thing. That's something to be celebrated. That while,
Right.
we both have equal value, we are very different. We have different roles and responsibilities, and we've got to embrace that instead of trying to be something different.
Anita, you hit it right on the head. I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, just to
Mhm.
use this analogy, my friend, he's an instructor when it comes to ballroom dancing, and he used to tell me that, the way that a masculine feminine energy works is the man, he's usually the one that's spinning the woman around. He's
Mhm.
leading the dance. He's
Yep.
strong and he's lifting her up. He said, no way during his training that he's seen a woman spinning a man around
Right.
lifting him up,
Right.
dipping him
Right.
down, it would be off
Right.
key.
That's right.
So then I ask him a question, what about if they both try to dance at the same time? And he say, no, that won't work either because they'll be stumbling and
That's
he
it.
may elbow. One has to lead and the
That's
other
it.
one has to have to follow. And
That's it.
usually men, we're more assertive. We
Yep.
are the leaders.
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong with, actually being submissive is very powerful. Very
Mhm.
powerful, you know?
I agree. I agree. So, this has been a wonderful conversation. I just want to take the time to say thank you so much to Treamell of Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters for being on the show today. Treamell, is there a product or a service that you would like to tell us more about or that the listeners should go check out?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on your show. I have a book out called Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters, Listen Up, which is available
Mhm.
right now. Please pick it up.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. And also our Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters website will be coming soon. It will be dropping July 23rd. It will have amazing coaches up there, therapists, courses, classes, blogs, our relationship site, all underneath one hub. So please check it out, July 23rd.
Awesome. Okay. Please head over there. I would also ask that if you are interested in being involved a little bit more in Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters, they have a Facebook group. I think you all have two Facebook groups.
Yes.
So if you are interested in that, please head over to Facebook. Check out the live show on Sunday evening at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lots of fun. It's a great
Mhm.
conversation. You may comment throughout the show. It is awesome. And the platform is just awesome. You're going to interact with a great group of people
Mm.
and talk about all things dating and relationships. So please head over to Facebook as well and check out Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ladies, if you are not subscribed to the podcast, please do so now, so you can be alerted every Monday morning when a new episode comes out. If you would do me the biggest favor ever, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Give this video a great big thumbs up. Click that bell icon so you can be reminded when our videos drop, and it's usually 2 or 3 times a week. Please rate and review the podcast. I so love reading your ratings and reviews of the podcast. And if you have a question that you would like to have answered on the show, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can learn all about me, your resident host, Anita Stoudemire, at www.betterlovemovement.com. You'll get more information there on love mentoring, the brand new book, Choose Well, a simple formula to determine the best man for you. You will see all of the products and the services and all of those great things over at the website. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us today. And as always, stay open to love. Doesn't it feel good when you have found the man who truly loves and cherishes you? Everything in the world is a little bit brighter. Well, this can happen to you, especially when you have the skills to choose the best man for you. Order your copy of the new book, Choose Well, a simple formula to determine the best man for you, today on Amazon. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave me a 5-star rating and review. Your ratings and reviews help me to continue to bring you more great content. Head on over to YouTube and check out the Better Love Movement channel. There's more video content there, and you can subscribe to be notified when a new video is posted. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast or in a YouTube video, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also connect with me directly on the Magnify app to have your dating and relationship questions answered. That's MAGNIFI, and it's available on iOS and Android. You get your first 5 minutes for free. So give me a call and let's chat.